Yo, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to the channel. With the 2021 draft process having come and went, I wanted to go ahead and make a kind of a way too early look ahead to next year's draft. And I wanted to count down, in my opinion, the top 5 2022 quarterback draft prospects, and just probably the 5 best quarterbacks in college football going into the 21 season. So yeah, with that being said, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Coming in at number 5, we've got JT Daniels out of Georgia. After a wild start to a college career that has taken many turns, it seems like at the end of the 2020 season, JT Daniels finally started to show some of the potential that many saw in him coming out of high school. Daniels was a 5-star prospect coming out of Mater Dei in 2018 and would sign with USC. He put up solid numbers during his freshman season, posting 2,672 yards and 14 touchdowns. Unfortunately for Daniels, he tore his ACL in the season opener of his sophomore season, which made way for the rise of Kaden Slovis and eventually led to Daniels transferring to Georgia for the 2020 season. Daniels did not get an opportunity to start until a Week 7 win versus Mississippi State, but Daniels thrived in the starting role once he was able to attain it. In just 4 games, Daniels recorded 1,231 yards and 10 touchdowns and led Georgia to a Peach Bowl win over Cincinnati. Daniels has all the characteristics of a classic pro-style QB, with great accuracy and pocket presence being arguably his best attributes. The biggest concerns for Daniels in the NFL are his somewhat mediocre size and history of injuries. Either way, it'll be really interesting to see what Daniels will do for Georgia this season and how much his draft stock will rise over the course of the 2021 season with the Dogs. Moving on from JT Daniels to the man who replaced JT Daniels at USC, at number 4 we got Kaden Slovis. In Slovis' freshman season at USC, he put up 3,502 yards with 30 touchdowns to just 9 interceptions. He also ranked among the most accurate passers in college football with a completion percentage of 71.9. Despite having a minor arm injury throughout the 2020 season, Slovis still put up solid numbers, posting 1,921 yards and 17 touchdowns in just 7 games. Slovis didn't have the hype that Daniels had coming out of high school, ranking just a 3-star prospect, the 26th best pro-style quarterback in the class of 2019. Slovis has more than proved that those rankings don't always mean much, as he has been one of the most efficient and accurate QBs in college football when he's healthy. With a talented USC team behind him that is hungry to avenge a heartbreaking loss in the Pac-12 championship last season, expectations are high for Slovis going into his 3rd year with the Trojans. With what I've seen from Slovis throughout his college career, I think he's very capable of being a solid NFL QB. His accuracy stands out most to me and really helps him as a guy who lacks a little bit physically. With USC gearing up for another big run of the Pac-12 in 2021, I'm, like I said, excited to see what Slovis can do this season, excited to see what his draft stock will do going into his 3rd year with the Trojans. After a magical season from Cincinnati in 2020, Desmond Ritter goes into the 2021 season as one of the most hyped quarterbacks in college football. During the 2020 season, Ritter threw for 2,296 yards and 19 touchdowns and added 592 yards and 12 touchdowns on the ground in just 10 games to lead Cincinnati to an American Athletic Conference championship and a berth in the Peach Bowl. Ritter was the heart and soul of this team, and his leadership was on full display throughout the season. Ritter was a big, charismatic figure both on the field and on the sidelines for the Bearcats, and these qualities will not go unnoticed by NFL GMs. Ritter lacks some of the arm talent and accuracy that others in this list may have, but his size and athleticism makes him unique. With a long 6'4" frame and elite speed and quickness, Ritter is a true dual-threat guy that often gives defensive coordinators fits when trying to contain him. It'll be very interesting to see how Ritter follows up his massively successful 2020 season and how his draft stock rises through 2021 as he goes into his final season with the Bearcats. As arguably the best quarterback in college football going into the 2021 season, not according to this list, but by other people, Spencer Rattler's 2020 season showed what all the hype surrounding him was all about. Rattler threw for over 3,000 yards and 28 touchdowns last season, leading Oklahoma to a Big 12 championship and Cotton Bowl victory over Florida. Despite being undersized, Rattler's accuracy and overall arm talent is exceptional. His quick release is probably his best attribute, as he is still capable of throwing a great deep ball without a huge windup. In addition to his great arm, Rattler has also shown decent mobility at Oklahoma, allowing him to make more plays down the field. There are some minor concerns around Rattler as an NFL prospect surrounding his size, and slight character concerns. If you watched QB1 Season 3 with Rattler, you'll know what I mean about that. But his ability as a dynamic playmaker will give any NFL team a guy that can make an impact from day one. Going into the 2021 season, Oklahoma looks to be one of the strongest and most well-rounded teams in college football, giving Rattler a golden opportunity to really showcase his ability and improve his already high draft stock. In my opinion, Rattler has a great chance of competing for the Heisman Trophy and leading Oklahoma to a national championship this season. There's a very good chance that he is the best quarterback and the first quarterback taken off the board, but it's going to be strong competition from the guy that I'm about to name at number 1. After 2 outstanding seasons with North Carolina in 2019 and 2020, Sam Howell is, in my eyes, the best quarterback in college football going into the 2021 season and has a very good chance of being next year's number 1 overall pick. Howell's efforts have been the key reason North Carolina's resurgence under Mack Brown, and with him entering his junior season, Howell and UNC have the perfect chance to really challenge Clemson for the ACC in 2021. Last season, Howell was outstanding, leading North Carolina to a berth in the Orange Bowl, throwing for 3,586 yards and 30 touchdowns on the way. This came after a more than stellar freshman season in 2019, where Howell threw for 3,641 yards and 38 touchdowns as the day 1 starter for the Tar Heels. Coming out of high school, Howell was a 4-star prospect and the 3rd best dual-threat QB in the class of 2019. His thick, stocky frame allows him to generate power from his lower body that allows him to zip the ball down the field with ease. He also brings decent mobility, which allows him to improvise and make plays in the run, which has allowed him to be a dynamic playmaker, adding an extra challenge for opposing defenses. Howell reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield with his body type and how he's able to make plays outside the pocket. Looking at how Baker Mayfield played in college, him and Howell have a lot of similarities, and if you just look at the two, I mean, hey, they look quite a bit alike too. These qualities give any NFL team a guy who can help a team right away with his playmaking ability and strong arm. I expect him to have a Heisman caliber season in 2021 and believe that there is a very good chance that we see him taking with the number 1 overall pick in next year's draft. Yo, thank y'all so much for watching. I'm definitely looking forward to 2021 college football season, as I feel like there's a lot of talent, not just at the quarterback position, but just a lot of talent overall going into the 2022 draft, and it's going to be a very interesting season to see who rises to the top of the draft boards and what surprise players that, no one expects break through and really put together a good showing this season. But as always though, thank you so much for the support. Coming up on 100 subscribers, so thank y'all so much for that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And until the next video, Godspeed.